Good morning. Thank you for your patience, and I know I am excited to see what we're going to be able to pull together today as we actually get to run for the unicorns. This is inspired partly because we knew that we're in an era where everybody's looking for that perfect investment, that next big thing. And what's true is that just the whole movement in crypto and in I'm still going to use the name ICOs, but in token generation, is the new unicorn. We actually, right now, are in a moment in history where we're reinventing how capital works. We're actually reinventing how economies are going to work and how specifically economies are going to work inside of new venture. So I'm excited for the lineup we have today, the opportunity for us to start to have this dialogue right here in Louisville, right in the midst of the Derby week, and for all of us to kind of get a sense of, what community we can build here in the United States, as well as I've just come from Asia. It's a global movement, and one time I used to call this tulips. Now I'm actually serving the Kool-Aid. So I've moved from that skeptic to not only believing it is part of the future, I think it is the keys to the future. If we're going to actually make the difference that we want in this world and to change the way the planet works, blockchain is it. So with that, I want to introduce Andrew Prell, who's CEO and founder of Convergence, and the reason we're all here in Louisville today.
Thank you, Jay. That man is a machine. He literally just got off the plane from Tokyo D10E. So thank you for making it, Jay, all around the world in 6 days, I believe. So I'm Andrew Prell, and I really want to thank you all for coming out to run for the unicorns here in Louisville, Kentucky. We have an exciting event planned for you all for the 2 days. We just did the bourbon with billionaires yesterday. I'm recovered at this point. But it's all about networking, bringing everybody together, bringing the technology into town, and that's kind of what I want to talk about here. Right, Arrow? There we go. All right, so this has its roots all the way back with my grandfather, Red Prell, who had Prell Electric. He had the big Derby party in town every year that's probably now taken over by Barnstable Brown. My aunt worked for NASA, and she went around the world and invited people back to the Derby. And I remember as a 7-year-old kid playing hide and go seek in all these cars on an 8-acre field sitting out in front of my grandfather's house. He had huge circus tents put out back. They dug pits, did smoked barbecue for like weeks ahead of time. And he had one rule, and that was if you wake up when he was ready to go to the track on Saturday, first Saturday in May, Derby, he'd get you in. Some years he'd get 3 or 4 people in, other years he'd get 40, 50 people in. I'll let you all figure out which one was the better Derby party. So what I want to talk about is Kentucky wants to be a world-class technology hub. And that's why I'm pushing this here to bring the top levels of technology to Louisville, Kentucky. We've got blockchain represented in all its facets. We've got really great training here. We've got some high-end technology people here with the crypto consulting group, fresh out of Louisville here, and also even the Kentucky Blockchain Association we're putting together to try to make Kentucky crypto-friendly, like Wyoming has done and a couple other states are trying. We also have a really very strong Bitcoin meetup group here. But Austin had a little bitty music festival many years ago. They tried to add a music festival to it, and it grew. And the very first technology piece they put to it, South by Southwest Interactive, had 80 people show up. And today, actually in 2015, well, where was that? Yeah, in 2015, they became the #1 spot for startups. They outpaced Silicon Valley because when you go to South by Southwest, the whole town comes out to greet you. The whole town recruits you. If you're a startup and you go there, you're a king, and they just show you all the awesome things that South by Southwest has in Austin, Texas, and why you need to move your company there. Louisville has all the same things, just the same inexpensive properties. It's very inexpensive to live here. Everybody that moves here, most people want to stay. It's got a great society around it, or community around it, but it also has the oldest tradition in sports in the U.S., and that's the Kentucky Derby. So if we could do the same thing, they have a $315 million impact off of just 200,000 people. We have a $128 million city impact off of 1.2 million people. Let's do the numbers. For 1.2 million, we get $106 per person average city impact. South by Southwest gets $1,575. The difference is you've got the top technology companies fighting for their mindset. And we've brought to Kentucky now the hottest thing in technology, married to the other hottest things in technology, and that's virtual reality and augmented reality, along with blockchain. So just to reiterate, $106 per person versus $1,500 city impact. Trying to get my message across to the city leaders and to all the Louisville ambassadors out there. So the difference is those technology companies fighting for the mindset. So in summary, we're larger, much more prestigious. We just need to add the tech event, which that's what we've brought here today. And as long as we can keep this thing rolling, we can get the same size, same event rolling every year. And I want to invite everybody out to the Kentucky Oaks on Friday, and definitely the Unicorn Ball, which we will fill this room with a lot of bourbon. So